Hello, pen people. It's your favorite pen gangsta here, reporting live. Well, maybe not live for you, but pre-recorded from mi casa. That's right here in my home office where everything, and I mean, well, not everything, but just about everything is done in here. Creatively, of course. Anyway, I have a pen to show you today that is from Scrivener London. And Scrivener is a brand that is British, and they design classic fountain pens that is meant to communicate luxurious minimalism. And being a luxurious minimalist type of brand, they're actually quite affordable. Usually you hear luxury. You also hear cha-ching because of the price tag that goes with luxury. Well, this is different. So in my hand, I have the Everyday Carry Silver Chrome Pocket pen. So there's a nice look at it. It is very silver chromey. It has a durable brass body underneath all that chrome. And so that being said, with the brass, there is a bit of weight to it, even though it is a pocket pen. It has a really beautiful accents to go with the pen as well, such as if you look at the cap. On the clip, there's a really nice kind of Art Deco look about it. And then the ring of the cap is the Scrivener logo, as well as on the finial. There it is. And so you have very minimal branding done on here. Just a nice tiny logo. Nothing obnoxious. Nothing over the top. So it is, in that sense, very minimalist. So the size is a pocket pen, but I want to go ahead and compare it to a couple of pocket pens I have here with me, such as we have the Kaweco Sport. So you might notice that the sizes, well, the Kaweco is a bit smaller, and that's with the cap on, of course. I will post them to see what they look like next. I also have, let's see here, I have the Sailor Pro Gear Slim pocket pen. We'll also compare that as well. Let me see, do I have any other pocket pens up here to show you? Oh, I do. I have a Colo Tino that we can also compare with. So there's a couple of pen varieties to compare it to. So we'll post that here in a second. And the cap is really cool. So the cap, it looks like it's more of the pen body, but once you take that cap off, the cap threads on to the end of the barrel. And it's actually a pretty nice size pen. So now that I have the cap off and posted, let's go ahead and compare it to a couple of other pocket pens. So let's look at it with the Kaweco. So I'll hold it up this way. Excusez-moi. I had to clear my throat. This is still bigger than the Kaweco. All right, and next to the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Make sure I got that. All right, here it is next to that. Size is pretty close. And then finally, put the cap back on here because I don't want my nibs to dry out. Next to the Colo Tino. So post that. Those next to each other. Again, the size is pretty close. So now you kind of have an idea of what the size is like posted and unposted in comparison to other pretty popular fountain pens that you probably carry around in your pocket. So the Scrivener, what I really enjoy about it, especially when you have a pocket pen that has a cap that has to thread on to the back of the barrel in order for it to post. This one lines up perfectly. And what I'm talking about is that pen clip and the nib line up perfectly. And I tried it several times, just like I have in the past with other pens that are supposed to line up. This one lines up beautifully, because if it didn't, that would be totally go against the score of this pen and would go in my book as like being a real bummer. Okay. So it does right on to the end there. And I also like the grip section. Let's see if I can get a nice look at this grip section here for you. So you might notice it kind of has a nice cross-hatch type of pattern on it. And it's not just smooth metal. Because I know there are a lot of you guys out there that really, really dislike a smooth grip section, especially a smooth metal grip section. This actually helps your fingers to grab hold of the, sorry, it's like, it's just, there's so much going on in here right now, and I'm trying to slow it down so it could communicate out, come out of my mouth to communicate to you, and it's just like, it's blowing my mind. That happens a lot, guys, so bear with me. Anyway, like I was saying about the grip section, is when I'm writing with it, I don't feel like it's very slippery at all. In fact, I feel that my fingers have a pretty decent grip on the pen because of this texture. So if you're one of these people that really, really cannot stand to write with a slippery metal grip section, you might actually appreciate this very much. It's very thoughtful, and I'm sure that they are probably have the pattern on this pen like this because they know people probably couldn't tolerate a grip section that was smooth metal like the rest of the pen. So you might also notice, let me turn it this way so you can get a look at the nib. It has a nice, dependable Schmidt stainless steel nib. Schmidt is one of those underrated German fountain pen nibs, especially in comparison to the Jowo nib and the Bach nib. I find that Schmidt needs to get a little more love. You know, Benu uses Schmidt, Scrivener uses Schmidt. There's a couple other pen brands. This Colotina uses a Schmidt, and I haven't had any problems with the Schmidt nib at all. I find them to be very pleasant. This is a fine Schmidt nib, and I find it to be a very nice writer. It's not dry. It actually writes very nice and smooth, and I haven't had any hard starts with it. So I don't know if if you guys have a preference for stainless steel nibs, but I have to say the Schmidt is pretty good. This is a cartridge converter system that uses also an international standard cartridge converter, and you have Scrivener on the silver section of this converter. It's very nice. It comes in several colors as well. There's a silver chrome one, but there's also like a silver chrome with gold trim. If you're into like a two-tone type of metal color situation. There's also matte blue. There was black, I believe. I can't remember all the colors, but there was some really nice colors there that I thought was really, really nice, really eye-popping. And so I think if the silver chrome is not for you, there's other colors to choose from. This pen is available on the Scrivener website. So I do know that Scrivener is available at Pen Boutique and also on Amazon, but I don't know if they carry the pocket pen or not. They do carry the regular size Scrivener pens, and I wish I had a regular size Scrivener pen to compare this to, but I don't. It actually looks like the same as the Scrivener, the regular size fountain pen. It's just shorter. So, but it's very attractive. I find this design to be very nice. I really find the grip section, it's very classy. I know it has a purpose, to serve for not letting your fingertips slip everywhere, but it's just very nice. It is very attractive. Maybe if I hold it in front of the mic, you could kind of see it better. Yeah. Now, what you're probably going to like the best about this pen is the price. The price is very, very affordable. In fact, you can find this pen on the Scrivener website for $52.99. That's $52.99. If you'd like me to round that up, that would be about $53. So plus shipping, plus tariffs. But if you can find this pen on either the Amazon website or at Pen Boutique, you could probably avoid those tariffs and probably avoid some shipping costs, especially with Amazon, if you could get this through Prime. So I think that the price is very nice. No, I'm not Dr. Seuss, but hey, that rhymed pretty well. And no, I'm not a rapper. I'm just me. But it's very affordable. It performs very nicely. It is a little bit on the heavier side, especially if you want to compare it to the Kaweco aluminum pen. They do look very nice together. This is way lighter, so it does have a brass metal underneath all that chrome, so it does account for a heavier pen. You could probably break a window with it if necessary. I mean, you know, it could double as a little weapon maybe. I like it. I do. I'm going to highly recommend this pen. It's classy. It's nice. It does feel luxurious, especially for that price. I mean, can't really go wrong with it. So that's all I have to say about it. I hope that this review was helpful, and I hope that you go looking for Scrivener. They're very nice people, at least the people that I met at the London Pen Show were super nice, very helpful, very knowledgeable, and you need to look them up. Okay, that's all I have to say about it, and that's how the ink flows. Look, there's the logo right there. Isn't that pretty?